You know the expression we save the best for last? The best for last. But in my situation, we save the worst for last because we're going to make fun of them. We're going to laugh at them. They're all going to laugh at you. And what's funny is I used to live in this lovely city for almost 10 years. I've seen the heartbreak. I've seen the tragedy. I've seen the bargaining. I even saw the laughter. 28-3 will never get old. Never. Never get old. Ah. Hey everybody, I'm Cortez and I'm a critic. And today we're concluding the NFC South 2026 NFL Draft recap as the Falcons are on the clock. A Falcon team that this time last year was strengthening the power. And now reality has come down like Zeus with a thunderbolt. They are a mess. And there are some situations we need to address. So let's talk about the Falcons draft class. I'm preparing myself. Atlanta. Falcon fans. Falcons. Question. James Pierce Jr. Does that name ring a bell? A young man has let's be nice. He has embarrassed you. He has made the organization look kind of negative. A young man. Great rookie year. Highly focused. Facing multiple felony charges. Multiple felonies. And just want to address the news out there. But in February in Florida, February 7th in Florida, a domestic dispute involving an ex-girlfriend who happened to be a WNBA player. He's facing felony charge of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, fleeing fleeing the police, eluding police, resisting an officer with violence after allegedly ramming the vehicle into hers and leading officers on a short police chase. There's a video of him basically being almost taken down by the entire police force of the state of Florida, apparently. And now on May 26, 2026, he was approved for a 1-year pretrial intervention program. If he successfully completes the program, which requires a mental health evaluation, random drug test, and staying away from Jackson, all charges will be dropped. The NFL is currently under review in the matter, but we all know the NFL has a great track record of bringing down justice, whether pathetically or exaggeratively, or delaying it because of ratings. I mean, because of the process of justice. Ratings. So, he was your rookie. He was your guy's rookie. He was great. And with the multiple felonies, I can't help but just think that recently there was another rookie who was also a first round pick who also committed a dangerous crime in the state of Florida. We have them in bunches. And the Detroit Lions says, get out! Now, of course, one's a kidnapping, one is a felony assault with a weapon, vehicle, police looting. I understand. Two different levels. But my thought process is, while Arnold is facing the wrath of unemployment and further things, Why is James Pierce Jr. is given a chance to literally have all his felonies just disappear? What type of role model for the kids we're doing? Mm-hmm. Not to mention that all the people that were in charge of drafting him and coaching him are now gone. So, Falcons. Hmm. Who's you guys' quarterback? Michael Penix or Tua? One with the ACL history and one with a concussion-ridden brain. And you have a head coach who I can't help but wonder. Okay, I mean, he was a two-time coach of the year, but then he got fired by Cleveland, which everyone knows when you get fired by Cleveland is a death sentence to everybody. It's a lot of ifs. A lot of ifs. Kind of a mess, Atlanta. Kind of a mess. You gave up your picks to the Rams, who are now probably the closest of any team to the Super Bowl. And that's before Myles Garrett. And now you're here in the worst division, and everyone else in the division is laughing at you. You are a mess, Atlanta. You are a mess. You are a mess. Congratulations. So, like I said, you gave up picks. You have one of the smallest draft class, and I can't help but feel like you have more questions everywhere than just your rookies. But I just had to get that off my chest because it's amazing how much strive a team will go for a young, talented player that can help them win, while other teams somehow say no. Can't help but wonder if is this a one-time incident or we'll be talking about this later. Also, how long is the NFL going to make their decision? Hmm? Like I said, if you can sack quarterbacks, you can basically sack your way out of a lawsuit, out of prison, out of any responsibility. So, in the second round, with the 48th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons selected Avion Terrell, corner Clemson. This is a happy story. It's lovely to see a young man basically reuniting with his brother. A beautiful story. And technically, if you want to be nitpicky about it, he was also the Falcons' first overall pick in the draft. Then was the first round, but still, second round's fine. He's still with the Falcons' first choice. And that's what we'll tell everybody. He was also the Falcons' first choice. Now, not to be a dick, since I already been a dick about it, the Atlanta Falcons ESPN page have somehow disabled their entire depth chart, so I can't even project where this young man's going to be. But my thought is this meant to be Terrell's heir? Let me take a look at Terrell. Where are you? AJ has been in the league. He's 27 years old. Eh, still playing at a high level, which is kind of funny because he was so good at covering Mike Evans. Now Mike Evans is gone. Where is his power going to go to now? There's a wide receiver in Carolina that I've always compared to be a Mike Evans like. Maybe you can shut him down. But are they going to? Nah. I mean, like I said, without the depth chart, I cannot tell what the Falcons' depth chart is going to look like and where they're going to put them. So a lot of this is going to be based on assumption. I don't believe Terrell is meant to be the replacement, but I feel like that's where it's going to go if things go that way. Terrell has been in the league. AJ has been in the league for 7 years. He's 27. I believe he's still playing at a high level, so I feel like he can probably play at least for Atlanta for another 3 years. And then when he reaches 30, then we'll make decisions. But I feel like this is meant to be the other side of the corner. This is going to be a two-headed monster of the Terrells. They'll call him the Terrible Terrell DB Specialist. Cool, fun story. We all laugh at that. And I feel like, for the Falcons' sake, they're still building that defense that they got with their two rookies they got last year's draft. And I feel like the identity of the Falcons is still trying to get that defense somewhat, I thought the defense was solid last year. I really did. And that was not just because the two rookies showing great promise. I thought the defense was solid. I mean, you got BJ Rob. I mean, yeah, the Falcons, the team that felt like everything just felt like was in the right spot. Why do you guys still kept losing? Like to the Jets. I don't know. One of the great mysteries, which is why I'm telling you, Bijan is going to be traded. Bijan's going to have a Christian McCaffrey moment, and they're going to trade him out because he's going to get to the point where the Falcons, for some reason, would not be able to win it with him, and they feel like if we don't win with him, we're going to lose value to get anything from him. So don't be surprised if Bijan gets traded sometime in the near future for like 2 first-round picks to a team that's contending, like the Patriots, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Ravens after Derrick Henry's gone. Don't be surprised. Or worse yet, Dallas. Will Atlanta trade Bijan Robinson for 2 first-round picks to the Dallas Cowboys? Matthew McConaughey and him are good friends. Just saying. Then we go to the 3rd round. With the 79th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons selected Zachariah Branch, wide receiver, Georgia. I like this pick. The question I always have is the quarterback situation. Tua has had Waddle and Tyreek Hill. There's another wide receiver I'm drawing a blank on. And Michael Penix had Drake London and Kyle Pitts. He had Mooney, who was inconsistent. But I feel like Branch is a good, solid number 2. Drake London's obviously the guy, and Kyle Pitts, hopefully under the new offensive scheme, will be more utilized than just beat Tampa twice a year. So I feel like Branch is a good, solid slot number 2. Probably going to be used at number 3. But the Falcon wide receiver pool is so top-heavy that I really believe that there's plenty of room for others. Like I said, when Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan are so high on not just the Falcons, but in their position respectively, it just feels like number 2 and 3 are so far down that it's like, it's not because you suck, it's because these gentlemen have raised the bar so high that everyone else, it looks like a 3 to them. But they're so high up. So Branch going to the Falcons, solid pickup. It might help take the pressure off London and Pitts, and who knows? Maybe that's the key. Because without London, I thought Mooney was going to be the go-to deep threat, but he kind of didn't. And Kyle Pitts is only good against Tampa. So, yeah, we'll see. I still believe the Falcons are a run-first offense. And I feel like that's probably the reason why Sengusky went to the Falcons. Bijan is just too talented, too young in his prime to not. And also, Tyler Allgeier's gone. Bijan will be literally the guy now. I mean, he was the guy, but you know what I mean. Then we go to the 4th round with the 134th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Atlanta Falcons selected Kendall Daniels, linebacker, Oklahoma. Is this the same Oklahoma guy that I was thinking about earlier? There was a linebacker in my head. Yes, he was. Yes, this was the guy I was thinking about. Yeah, he wore number 5, and that's from. It's hard to remember all the people's names, but I remember their jerseys. I know the Falcons. Ellis went to the Saints. Traitor. Don't worry, the Bucks took some Carolina Panther players too, so don't be too crazy about that. That I feel like this was meant to be the heir apparent. Like I said, I don't know what the depth chart was going to be, and speculating based on just the roster is kind of hard. But I feel like he's 6'5", 242. Are they going to... He was a safety, got moved to linebacker. Bulked up, apparently. Conspiracy hat. Is he... Was he picked up because of James Pierce's situation? Was the situation like, we need someone... Is Daniel going to be moved to edge? Let me take a look here. Where they have you, my dude? Where they have you, my dude? No, they have him as, let's just say, linebacker. So I have no idea where they have him. But yeah, I mean he's 6'5". And look at all the linebackers are 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", 6'3". James Pierce Jr. is 6'5", 243, and Walker is 6'2", the other edge. But yeah, maybe he is meant to be potentially the substitute for James Pierce. I mean, 6'5", 242 can help. I feel like that's kind of pretty big for an inside linebacker. Maybe put him in maybe put him edge. Like I said, I don't know. There's no depth chart for me to give you a mock on it. But I'm gonna go on the head there. I'm like, maybe he's meant to be edge because the James Pierce Jr. They're probably scared of the Falcons a little bit. And then we go to the sixth round with a 208th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Atlanta Falcons selected Ontario Thomas, defensive tackle, Washington. Another young man that has no intangibles. Great. Now I have to go to the roster and try to find this young man. Okay, let me take a look here. Where are you? Thomas. Where are you, Thomas? I'm looking for your name. Here we go. Ontario Thomas, defensive tackle. 6'4", 310 out of Washington. Who's going to wear number 9? Who's going to wear number 98? I'm going to run to 3-4 defense. 6'4", 310. Could be probably used as a nose tackle. Probably used more in the middle. Don't know who the starting nose tackle is, but definitely be intangibles. Probably get some rotation. Looked like he had some time at junior college. Then went to Iowa and then Western Michigan. So he has been transferring to find his identity in the football field. That's not a bad thing. Great pocket presence, grip, can rip and rip, snatch, good block, ripping out. So, yeah, good intangibles. There's nothing wrong with this one. I feel like this just adds to, if nothing else, rotation. Probably get a lot of chances at preseason to see what he can do. But the two people they got, the linebacker and the defensive tackle, I feel like they're solid. They're solid defensive players. If nothing else, rotation, which is good to develop them for the future. And then they're not done with linebackers. Then we go to the sixth round, almost 7 picks later, with the 215th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Atlanta Falcons selected Harold Perkins Jr., linebacker, LSU. I'm surprised he went so low. He's top 10 in his position. Was there an injury that caused him to miss? ACL injury. Oh, there you go. There it is. But an ACL injury in his 2024 campaign cut his short. Okay, that's why. That's why. Okay, because I heard him. I thought he was at best late second round, early third. Maybe happened to drop. He's still top 10 in his position. That counts for something. And now Harold Perkins is 6'1", 233, 223, pardon me. Now he screams middle linebacker, while Daniel screams edge. So I feel like Perkins, with the injuries and rehabilitation, be fine, but do not be surprised if he proves his worth in the middle. So this could be a steal for the Falcons, that they didn't have to spend too much on it. He just happened to fall in their laps, and sometimes you get lucky like that. I understand ACL, MCL, anything that says injury that cut a season short is scary to everybody because it's an investment you're making. But I have to believe in the faith of sports medicine has gone so much. What's the word? The rest time rehabilitation has been more effective, more functioning. No massive delays of waiting. So I feel like this is a good pickup for the Falcons, and they're lucky to get him. Then we will conclude in the 7th round with a 231st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Atlanta Falcons selected Ethan Oniwa, offensive tackle, Ohio State. They don't like putting their intangibles, apparently. I'm either having a massive glitch, or everybody in ESPN just doesn't like completing their work. Okay, Gotta look. I gotta find this man. Offensive tackle. Um, Jake Matthews is in his what? Jake Matthews is 34 years old. I think we probably can see why the Falcons made the decision to get Ethan. He's 6'7", 331. Not much about his bios, not much about his intangibles on that. He was a transfer to All State from Rice, so level of competition still proved his worth. He had 173 snaps on offense and special teams. He's a long frame with strong grit. Spent time both tackle positions, so he's rotational. That's good. His feet are inadequate to pull and climb to the second level, but that's not his strong suit. Okay. Okay, so it's sounds like raw potential. Probably gonna be thrust into it, but yeah, realizing that Matthews is wow that old. Matthews came the same year as Mike Evans, same draft class. So it's amazing how older he is and still played at a high level. So maybe this was probably not the Aaron replacement. Like I said, there's no depth chart for me to view it, but he played both tackles, and we'll see what the future holds for them. But right now, the intangibles are there. Just gotta clean it up, tweak it, polish it, make it look shiny. And that's the Atlanta Falcons. Player I am most excited about. This is big because I really believe it was meant for this, and I feel like it's going to work out better. Kendall Daniels, the edge linebacker from Oklahoma, the former safety Turner. He's 6'5". Same size and same build as James Pierce Jr. Because of the situation how with James Pierce Jr., I can't help but feel like that was the reason why he was drafted. Was meant to be, and nothing else, a replacement for him while he deals with a suit. And now that James Pierce could be literally scot-free, now it's just an added bonus of rotation. So to me, he's the one I'm most excited about because one, he went from a safety to a linebacker, and now he's in the NFL, and he has the intangible similar to another guy who was an edge with a similar frame. Very tall, very thin, but aggressive off the edge. Daniels could be just more fuel to the fire for this young pass rush with Walker and Pierce Jr. So they might instead of have a two-headed monster, they have a three-headed monster, and everyone gets a chance to take a break without missing a step on the defense. And that will make the Falcons much more dangerous, even though the offense is so like, I have no idea what you guys are doing on the offense. Good luck to you. Grade I give the Falcons. Even though the draft class is small, and I have very little information help me make an evaluation. The quarterback situation is such a big mystery that even with this draft class, I feel like the defense will be there. The defense might be better. A new head coach, new general manager, new everything. And compared to everyone else in the division, Atlanta, you gonna not yet. I don't know yet. Are you there yet? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you are. Maybe you're gonna win the division with a 13-4 record. I don't know. But there's too many question marks that this draft class can't even give me confidence. This draft class to me is not better than the draft class last year. Your last year's draft class alone, the first two picks was enough to be like, everything is an A plus, and you can have the worst after that, but still be an A at the end. That draft class, it was such an impact, and it showed. Here, feels a lot of pieces moving into it, but not a lot of assurance on what you already have at the quarterback, head coaching, everything. And I'm sure when you guys were evaluating the draft, the James Pierce Jr. situation was kind of like, oh boy. Oh boy. So, a lot of your decision could have been literally handcuffed to their choices. Now that James Pierce Jr. might be more than likely able to come play with no real repercussions after the NFL suspension, which probably makes the Daniels pick up even more so because you feel like that even if he doesn't go to prison or any other legal consequences, the NFL will still have to give actions. Even a 6-game suspension is still a suspension. So we'll see. Or they do nothing because the NFL is like that. And that is the Atlanta Falcons. We have 2 divisions left. We're going to the AFC East. And we're going to talk to the team that went to the Super Bowl, and we're all now thinking, you should not have been there. We're going to talk about the New England Patriots. Exciting. Talk about the Patriots after another trip to the Super Bowl and another loss. Fun for us all. But that's another time. But until then, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you so very much for watching.